good morning, and welcome back to Coffee and Sports, the morning show. I'm the NFL Genius broadcasting from my new apartment, my new studio. It's not fully set up. My voice is partially gone, but I'm here. I play hurt. I play sick. Unlike some people, Shally might be missing the show tonight because it got a little cold. Kidding. I'm the NFL Genius, Gene Walsack, and in the far right, I got the man that knows better. It's Mo Better. What's up, Mo?
Hey, good morning, Gene. Good morning, Coach. Welcome, chat.
And it's Wednesday morning. We're making this into a tradition. Every Wednesday morning. Don't even wait for the invite, Coach. Every Wednesday morning. Wednesday mornings with Coach is going to be a thing. Good morning, Coach Dante.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing? Very excited. Football is tomorrow. Hey, college already started, so hey, I'm ready to get right into it.
Oh, we're going to talk about it's going to be a main league football show. Baseball, playoffs are ramping up. We are going to get to baseball. Basketball, we're in that lull. Summer league is over. The season hasn't started yet. Free agency is done. We are going to be a football show probably for the next month. But we got a lot to get into. I'm sharing everything up. But I want to play this video. It's good to have Coach on. And if you guys don't know who John Boy is, let me give John Boy his credit. If you've ever seen the voiceovers where like the guy like is reading the lips and reading what he's saying, John Boy is great. I seen this video from last night's Yankees Astros game, and I thought this was super interesting. So I'm gonna play it for you guys, and I want to get Mo's opinion. I want to get Coach's opinion on what happened in this scenario. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it right up. All right, share screen. And here's the video.
Sequence for you. Framber's pitching to Trent's 2-0 game. Bases loaded. The 1-0 pitch. Catcher saying, back off, step off. Framber ignores him, throws the pitch anyway. Fastball, center cut. Grisham slams it into the Crawford boxes. Grand slam, 2-0 becomes 6-0. Grisham's happy. Framber's like, you distracted me. Grisham's got the grand slam giddies. The tongue's poking out. He's having a great time. Framber's not. The next batter comes up, Volpe, and is he mad at his catcher? Because look what he does. He just crosses him up, and it kind of looks intentional. Did you see all those reactions? The catcher takes one right to the chest. The leg looks at his pitcher like, what, dude? Are we good? And Framber throws it, doesn't care at all, doesn't say sorry, just turns and says, nah, man. Well, maybe we're good now. Even Volpe was like, wait, what? You guys beefing? What's going on? He's like, come on, man. We good? It's not cool. It's not cool at all. And Framber's like, yeah, it wasn't cool, man. It wasn't cool. Tell me to step off while I'm pitching. Here's a weird sequence for you. Framber's pitching to Trent's.
All right, so now you've seen it, right? And I would love to get your opinions on if that. So I've played baseball my whole life. It looks to me like the catcher called for a breaking ball. He's setting up for a breaking ball. He's setting up for a ball down in the zone. And Framber crosses him up with a fastball right down the middle. To me, that felt intentional. It's been also, and by the way, if I hit my catcher in the chest with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, my first reaction, like, what happened? Are we good? I'm sorry. Are you okay? It looked very intentional. Framber's obviously mad. It was the first pitch after a grand slam. Coach, being your squad, being the Houston Astros, what was your take on that? Was it intentional? And is there any issues going forward?
No, I'm not. I don't. No, I don't think so. But I think that is an issue that everybody will look at. But because it's the Houston Astros, so that's why I think it's an issue that people will look at, and people are not used to the Astros doing that. I mean, it's been kind of overwhelming year because of all the injuries and stuff like that went on. People just getting back, pitchers just getting back in the lineup and stuff like that. Vrama, when he's not pitching great and when he's getting hit around, he gets frustrated all the time and walk off the mound. But in this scenario, Vrama definitely was mad after giving up that grand slam. The First of all, you can literally see the catcher saying reset. When he does this, he's basically telling him to reset. But I guess Farmer did not. Farmer threw the pitch anyway. He did not. I think Farmer looked at that and just waved him off by throwing a fastball right over the middle when bases loaded, 1 out after he didn't gave up 3 straight hits already. Farmer's already pissed off. He's already frustrated. He's used to getting ground balls. He wasn't getting ground balls. Everything that was hit in the outfield. He's not used to that. So you can see Salas telling them to step off and just really step off and just he was going to throw another pitch, but he ends up throwing a sink anyway. Ends up getting hit in the Crawford boxes where everybody like to hit it. That's why you hit in Dyken Park, because of those Crawford boxes. You don't got to be hit hard to be hit there. But other than that, you see the next pitch was clearly intentional. He clearly throws 95 right down the middle when it looked like Salazar wasn't ready to eat for even a pitch. So if I was Salas, I would have went to the mountain right after that and see if we were good. I would have went to the mountain and had a discussion with him and see if we were good. But Farmer was clearly frustrated that he was getting knocked around last night. And, that's just more frustration on Farmer. But if I was Salas and that ball came at me like that, we'd have had a few words on the mountain to make sure we were straight.
I love that. We'd have had a few words on the mountain. I'll tell you right now, if I was the catcher, we go time. We'll walk up there. We're going to have a conversation.
Yep.
Oh, so you thought it was intentional. That's going to be cool.
Yes, because he was
I thought it was intentional.
He was clearly frustrated. After the Grand Slam, he was frustrated. He was clearly frustrated. And prior to the Grand Slam, he already gave up 3 straight hits, that's not – and the balls been hit out there in the outfield. So he's used to getting those ground balls. He was getting a lot of fly out last night. And it started with Chisholm hitting that 2-run home run early in the game. So he's already frustrated at that point. Then he started off the inning getting the first out. Then he gives up 3 straight hits. Including the Grand Slam that Salas was telling him just to step back a little bit and let's throw another pitch. And he ends up throwing it anyway, and it goes in the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, I just wanted to know whether you thought it was intentional. It felt intentional to me. Mo, did you think that was intentional or you a clean sweep here?
Yeah. I felt the way the catcher felt. He stood up and took a step like he was about to go out there. And he showed some restraint, but I don't think anybody thought it was anything but intentional. So clearly they weren't good. And I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the locker room after the game.
Even in the dugout right after the inning, I felt like
even in the dugout. Right.
All right, that's for the start there. All right, let's move over to college football. College football had a fun opening week, but the fun opening week was at the expense of all the bettors. The 5 most bet on teams in college football lost. Texas was one of them. Notre Dame was another. Clemson was another. 3 big games in which Clemson lost to LSU. And if you watch that LSU-Clemson game, it was a very good game in the first half. LSU dominated that game in the second half. The score did not indicate what happened in that football game. The Miami-Notre Dame game, very good game. Carson Beck had a good game for Miami. But the game I want to center focus on was Arch Manning's debut as starter at The Ohio State University. A lot of people pegged this to be a high-scoring game, not me and Kittrell. Me and Kittrell had this being a low-scoring, not as low as it was. Final score was 14-7, Ohio State. Arch Manning was 17 of 30 for 170, 1 touchdown, and 1 pretty bad pick. Julian Sayin, 5-star kid, 13 of 20 for 126 and 1 touchdown. Mo, what did you think of Arch Manning's debut as Texas starting quarterback?
I thought he struggled like I expected him to struggle. I think he had the game that I thought he would have. I think that he came in there with all that hype and all that pressure. Like he came in with pressure of being a transcendent player. And I don't know why he came in with that kind of pressure, because if he was a transcendent player, he would have been a starter last year. He would have unseated yours. He's not a transcendent player. He's a good player. What makes him transcendent in the eyes of a lot of people is his last name. I don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to be. He's I don't think he's going to be a transcendent player. I picked Ohio State to win because I didn't think he was going to be that good. When people were telling me, well, Ohio State lost all these starters on defense, and I was like, it's Ohio State. They recruit like everybody else. They're going to be fine. And it showed on the football field. And the thing is, Texas's defense was great. They did what they did for the most part of the game. It's not like Ohio State was dominant. It was a defensive football game. I thought Arch Manning had moments later in the game where he looked more comfortable, but I thought the way he initially came out, you could tell he was shook and wasn't ready for the moment. And look, going forward, you can make the argument, will he see a better defense than this the rest of the season? I don't know. What I will say is, though, the early talk about him winning the Heisman Trophy, you got to get over that. You got to move off of that. He's not winning the Heisman Trophy.
I mean, we'll see. He does have the SEC behind him, so that schedule is obviously a gauntlet going through the SEC. So if he does rebound and he does look better. I wouldn't say that him winning the Heisman is like over. Obviously, we're projecting before week 1. None of these guys have played a game. Coach, what did you think of Arch Manning's debut, and what did you think of the way Ohio State defended him? I'll say this, Coach. Texas's defense, to most credit, played their ass off. The best receiver in the country had less than 50 yards. Jeremiah Smith only 6 receptions, 43 yards. Even the run game, they ran the ball 34 times against Texas. I think it was like 120 yards total. So I think Texas's defense did everything they needed to do. The offense didn't move the ball. What did you see?
Well, it sucks because the Longhorns are my diehard scorer, so it sucks about that. But other than that, I'm not ready to give up on Arch Manning. I mean, I saw a lot of potential throws that he did make out there. Like, he actually late in the game did make some NFL throws. But what's crazy about it, that the throws that he didn't make, I looked at the throws that he did not make. Like, we was threatening in the end zone, 7-7. You missed a 3-yard drag. You threw it at the dude's feet. You threw it right when he was wide open. That would have been a first down, and all of a sudden you go 4 and out. You go just 4 and out where you should have hit that 3-yard drag right over the right coming across the middle. You missed that throw. Then defense gets a stop. We get the ball right back. You miss Wingo, right? You threw the ball behind him when he's clearly wide open for a first down. So it's more disappointing on the throws he did not make. Those easy throws, you got to be able to make those throws consistently. We were able to run the ball pretty well with C.J. Baxter and Travion Wisner. And I like Travion Wisner because he was great for us last year in Baxter appearances. Baxter not being out playing and him being out for the season. So we were able to run the ball on Ohio State defense. It was some throws to be made. On Ohio State defense. I thought the offensive line did really well outside of the last play of the game when he kind of did get pressured, but Arch Manning just couldn't capitalize on third downs and the throws that he needed to make. When he did make a big throw, I like the throw in the end zone. That he made to complete for a touchdown. Even on the last drive, he completed a ball like right towards the sideline to the tight end, but what got me disappointed, it was the throws he did not make. And those were the easy throws that you got to make. And then the interception where he clearly had this communication. He ends up throwing the ball right over the wide receiver head, and it ends up getting picked off. So, like I say, didn't lose hope for Arch Manning. I still think he's going to be a very good quarterback. I still think he has some talent, especially some arm talent, but he's got to, down the road, he's got to make those throws. He's got to be able to make those throws to keep us on the field on third down. And those were the ones that was frustrating. And the defense played their ass off. The defense had nothing to be ashamed about. They held Jeremiah Smith down, pretty much shut him down pretty much. They did stop the running game pretty much. Defense did all they could, but Arch Manning, it's just the throws he did not capitalize on.
By the way, 31 carries for 89 yards was the exact stat. If you take away the 3 kneels, I don't count those. It's 34 for 77, but 3 kneels were in that. I personally believe that Ohio State and Texas will both be there when it's all said and done. They might not be the final teams, but I think both are college football playoff teams. And I think that they'll all have opportunities to turn this season around. Ohio State starting with the big win at home versus number 1. They are now the nation's number 1 team. leapfrogging their in-conference rival Penn State, who is number 2, who just basically beat up on nobody. Penn State scheduling themselves 3 opponents that are little sisters of the poor, all at home to start their season. And then they play Oregon. I think that's a bad decision on Penn State's behalf. A lot of people were having that conversation about Ohio State leapfrogging Penn State. And to those people, I want to say this very clearly. When you're Penn State and you have everybody returning, you have Drew Aller coming back, Stingleton, Katron Allen, all those guys returning, and you schedule 3 games in which you're 40-point favorites all at home, they're going to play goddamn Villanova. Wait, let me just say this again. Not Villanova basketball, not Jay Wright, not Jalen Brunson. They're going to play Villanova football, who's a borderline Division II team in Happy Valley. You don't deserve to move up to number 1. Ohio State is the number 1 team in the country. So just quickly, your thoughts on Penn State scheduling 3 cupcakes before they play Oregon, which I think is, it's like you don't know how to get tested. You're going to go play Oregon after playing these guys that are little sisters of the poor. I shouldn't say it that way. They're collegiate. You get my point. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
I think when you go that route and you set your schedule up versus cupcakes, you set yourself up for failure when you meet Oregon. Are you going to be ready for that? And I think that's what you're doing. I think you're setting yourself up for getting punched in the face. When you're a 40-point favorite, do you even really have to play your starters?
No, and Drew Howard didn't play the whole game. Their starters didn't play the whole game. They won 46-11. They got up like 37-0 and just coasted. So, Coach, your thoughts on Penn State?
See, I'm a big fan of teams playing the competition early.
Right.
Yeah, just to get everything. Like, if you're gonna struggle, at least you get it out the way early. At least you go ahead and get everything you need up out of the way early. But playing cupcake games, that's not gonna get it done, and that's why you can't be surprised if they play Oregon and Oregon just beat them down because of the schedule that they went with. And you got all the talent. I mean, you got your quarterback back, you got the 2 running backs back in the backfield. That's been pretty good for Penn State. You got your defense intact. So there's no reason you should be playing teams like a Villanova. Like, we ain't talking about the basketball competitive Villanova. We talking about the football not good Villanova. That's the Villanova that we're talking about today. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon smacked them in the mouth and just embarrassed them. Embarrassed them when they played them. But like, I'm a big fan of everybody just playing. If you that talented of a team and you playing, you got your guys back. I wouldn't just have a game on the schedule where you get all your bumps and bruises. Don't be afraid to get your bumps and bruises out there, man.
Yeah, they play Florida International this week. Like, come on. FIU at Beaver Stadium. Like, what are we doing? I'm sorry. I just need to bring that up. I'm a Penn State fan, and I hate our coach. So I just have to make it very clear every time I get on it. Until he proves me wrong, James Franklin, you can go kick rocks. Because the funny part of it is, and I'll end it here, right? But they have 2 losable games on their schedule. A third being at Iowa, but Iowa's never that good. You should be able to beat Iowa. Their offense stinks. But you have 2 losable games in your schedule. Oregon and Ohio State. And they think if they go like 10-2 in the Big Ten, they should be automatically awarded a college football playoff. And I don't believe that. I don't care if you have 2 losses. If you beat nobody, you should not make the college football playoff. And as the Penn State guy, if they lose to Oregon, Ohio State, I will tell you they should not make the playoff. Let's move forward. Let's talk about more fun things. Tomorrow night, boys. NFL season. Listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say this right now. I think I want to talk about the trade first. I haven't had the opportunity to sound off on this, and then I want to talk about the game itself, and then we'll get into the top 100 and all that jazz. But let's talk about the trade first. I want to get your two opinions first because I think I am going to be on the minority of this thought process. So I'm going to ask you guys first, who won the Micah Parsons trade? The Packers traded 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark to Dallas Cowboys for Micah Parsons and signed him to a record contract, $47 million a year, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in football. Who won the trade, Mo?
Look, I think you're playing for right now. I think the Packers won the trade. I had the Packers winning their division before Micah Parsons. And I think you add a Micah Parsons to that defense, which, by the way, he's actually a need position for them. He's what they're missing. I think the Packers become legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And my thought process is simple. You've got a 3, maybe 4-year window. If Micah Parsons helps you win 1 Super Bowl, money well spent. Money well spent. I don't care if you're garbage or average the rest of the way. If you win 1 Super Bowl in the Micah Parsons era, money well spent.
Coach, who do you think won the trade between the Packers and
I mean, I think the Packers will definitely won the trade. That definitely helps out. You got a emerging Lucas Van Ness on the other side as well. You can play Michael Parsons everything else around the line of scrimmage, but would you play him? You can play him at linebacker too if you wanted to. But this makes their defense be more stronger and stronger. I mean, I know Dallas got the 2 first-round picks, including Kenny Clark. But Kenny Clark ain't no Michael Parsons. He ain't dominant as a Michael Parsons will be dominant. Will be dominant for the Green Bay Packers. I think he helps them out immediately. And do you think the Cowboys already been struggling with their running game with Parsons in the lineup? How they gonna stop Philadelphia from running the ball all over them this Thursday night? So, and I'm a big believer. Hey, you get the superstar in the trade, you win the trade. You win the trade, and I think that's what won the trade for the Green Bay Packers. They needed someone on the defensive line that can impact football games and rep football games, and I think Michael Parsons definitely can do that for the Green Bay Packers. And with a good back end of the secondary too, that's going to allow the secondary to play to their strengths because that defensive line, Lucas Van Ness and Michael Parsons will be coming. So I believe that's going to help that Packers defense.
Secondary just got better.
Yep.
I'm different on this, okay? And I'm not saying that I don't think that the Packers won the trade, but what I will say is this. I got a video I just want to show you guys. Hang on one second. So this is what I do. The Dallas Cowboys trade with the Green Bay Packers. So this is exactly my thought process on it from a Cowboys perspective. So share screen and action. Jerry trading Micah Parsons for 2 first-round picks.
You have a choice. You can have the boat or the mystery box.
What, are you crazy? We'll take the boat.
No, not so fast, Lois. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
And let's just...
We'll take the box.
Hold on.
I view the Packers, the Cowboys trading Micah Parsons as like, well, we got a mystery box. We can get these 2 first-round draft picks, which will probably be lower picks. But I also don't think the Packers won the trade either. You gave up 2 first-round picks and your best run stopper. To get Micah Parsons on the edge. What is the goal? The goal is to beat the Eagles. That's why you make the trade. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. The Eagles are in your conference. The goal is to beat the Eagles. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Micah Parsons doesn't have very good numbers versus the Eagles. Number 2, Kenny Clark has been one of the biggest proponents of stopping the Eagles' run. He is a monster in the middle. He threw us off our game in that playoff game. We won 22-10, but that game was way closer. If the Packers didn't fumble the ball multiple times, the Packers would have been in that football game because we couldn't run the ball with consistency. I don't think this makes the Packers that much better. I think it makes them better in their division. I guess the goal is to win the division. But you giving up 2 first-round draft picks and your best run stopper to overpay a guy. Do you think he's better than Myles Garrett? Do you think he's better than TJ Watt? Giving him $47.5 million a year. You think he's better than those guys? And they better win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years because that salary cap is unsustainable. After these 2 years, that salary, you're going to see all these guys cut. All these guys on that team. And they lost Jair Alexander in the offseason. We talk about the Packers as if they don't have any holes on defense. I think their cornerback room stinks. Nate Hobbs and Keyshawn Nixon don't think it's a good cornerback room. I just don't. They have very good safety in Xavier McKinney. But I don't like the trade for the Packers. I think it's one of those trades where you're like, this looks really shiny, but he's got a back issue. Let's see if that fixes up. And it really dampers their run defense. The Cowboys were terrible at stopping the run because they had no interior defense. Packers didn't have that problem. They had big Kenny Clark in the middle of that defense. So I think neither team won the trade. And I think maybe that might be me being an Eagles fan. I'm trying to be objective, but I would love to laugh at the Cowboys more. I don't think it's terrible. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
So I would look at it from this standpoint. Whether or not he's better than Myles Garrett or Watt is up in the air, but what he's being added to is a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. Neither one of them are going to be competing for a Super Bowl. So that's why you make that gamble for him, because you think we're that good. The Steelers and the Browns are not that good. We're not going to be talking about them come postseason. And look, I get it. It's tit for tat. Is your run defense less than? Sure. But the argument I would make is with him and Vanessa on the other side, your cornerbacks are better. You know how your quarterbacks get better? Quarterbacks have less time to throw the football. Your cornerbacks get better. Yep. Right. When you got guys that can get after the quarterback, your corners suddenly look a lot better. So I think he helps their backfield, their defensive backfield even more. I think the Packers took a calculated gamble, but I think they're also relying on the fact that they're not a one-dimensional team offensively. Yes, they have a deep wide receiving core, but Josh Jacobs is a power running back that gives them 1,400 yards so they can play a variety of styles. I think that will complement what their defense does.
Okay.
They're gonna be putting the ball in the end zone an awfully lot with the running game, and Jordan Love decision making is getting better and better. But again, if you got a very good defensive line that can get to the quarterback, that you don't have to worry about the DB room. The DB room will get better as you know when you have Michael Parsons, Lucas Van Ness on the other side, giving quarterbacks habits. So that definitely helps out Mixon them be very good sticking to the assignment. The only problem will make it bad on the DBs if they're not getting to the quarterback. If they're not going to get to the quarterback, of course your DB is going to suck. That's with any team. If you're not going to get to the quarterback, it's going to make your DBs look bad. Unless you're the Eagles or the Texans, they got hell of good DBs that stack that DBs. Hey, that's what your problem is. But I don't think it's going to be a problem because I think Lucas Van Ness and Michael Parsons is going to be getting to the quarterback. I think they're going to be getting to the quarterback, and that's going to help the quarterback. That's going to allow the quarterback to rush the ball up out his arm sooner than he actually wants to.
Speaking of the Eagles and their DBs, let's get into the game tomorrow night. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, but I want to talk about what Coach here. And last year, I would agree with what Coach just said. The Eagles unless you're the Eagles or the Texans and you have really good DBs. This year, I don't necessarily know that yet. I'll be very honest with you guys. I know you guys are looking at this from the outside looking in, and I'm looking at it from the inside, like from inside the Eagles organization. I've been to practice. I am not sold on the Eagles cornerback 2. And going up against the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to need to double team. They are going to have to double team. With Lamb and Pickens, What helps Philadelphia is Lamb primarily lines up in the slot, and Cooper DeJean is in the slot. I love that. But what I think Dallas will do is if the Philadelphia Eagles choose to have Quinyon Mitchell on the right side of the defense like they had, I think that the Cowboys will line up their third wide receiver, whether that be Jalen Tolbert or whoever, on Quinyon Mitchell, line up CeeDee Lamb in the slot versus Cooper DeJean and George Pickens on the outside. The Eagles' number 2 corner to start the season is Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson's been through the league. He is a journeyman at this point. The only thing I give him is he has absolute game-changing speed, but I don't necessarily feel confident in him being our cornerback too. We also are starting Sidney Brown at safety over our rookie second rounder, Andrew Mukubu, who a lot of people thought would be our starter at safety.
I thought he would. I like him. I like
Mukubu too. I think the Eagles are taking that approach they took with Cooper DeJean last year, where they're giving him a couple games until they get him the starting job. I think the Eagles significantly downgraded in their secondary with Adoree Jackson and Sidney Brown as opposed to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay. I'm not saying, and the fact that the Cowboys went and added Kenny Clark, they're going to be much better against the run. So I'm not saying the game fully worries me. But do not be thrown off if this game starts ugly for Philadelphia. Your thoughts on the Eagles' changes in the secondary, the challenge Dallas. Remember, Dak Prescott's 9-4 against the Philadelphia Eagles. 9-4. He has a very good win-loss record versus the Eagles. Now, to be fair, the defense is completely different under Vic Fangio. So he's never went up against Vic Fangio. And Vic Fangio transcended that defense. So, I think some of those stats are just stats. But your thoughts on tomorrow night's game, Eagles, Cowboys. Let's just talk about Dallas's offense versus Philadelphia's defense, and then we'll flip the script. Mo, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that Dallas's offense can be effective throwing the football, but everything is contingent on what happens at the line of scrimmage. I don't think the Cowboys have one of the better offensive lines in football, and the Eagles still have one of the best front sevens in football. So, look, if Dak is under duress, he's not the most mobile guy in the world, and when he's under duress, he's a completely different quarterback. So I don't think he's going to just be able to drop back and go through his reads at will. I think the Eagles are going to come after him. I think they're going to disrupt the receivers' routes. I don't expect a lot from the Dallas Cowboys offense tomorrow night. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will dominate the line of scrimmage. They'll dominate the football game.
Okay. Cowboys offense versus the Eagles defense, Coach.
I think the Cowboys offense can actually give the Eagles some problems. That's only if the offensive line can find a way to keep Jalen Carter and keep all of those guys off Dak Prescott. Then that's when I think the Eagles secondary could easily have a problem with. You got CeeDee Lamb over there who you're going to have to double most of the time. And then that's going to free up, George Pickens. That's going to free up George Pickens pretty much. But other than that, I think the Eagles' defensive line is just too dominant. I just think they can get to the backfield. They can stop the run. They're very good in stopping the run, especially with Jalen Carter over the middle. So I really do think the Cowboys can actually have some problems on the offensive side of the football. And plus, Dak Prescott, he's very turnover prone. So if you can get pressure in his face, he will turn the football. He will turn the football over. So, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the game is closer, a lot closer what people actually think tomorrow night. So, but I got faith in Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. He's always been a very good defensive coordinator, no matter who he has on his defense. I think Adoree Jackson, he's not the best, but I still think he's an okay corner. He's not great. He's not very good. I think he's just okay. But as long as you got Quinyon, if you can have Quinyon Mitchell shutting out, taking his side of the field away, that's going to help. That's going to definitely help a lot. But I got that Eagles defensive line. I just think it's too stout for Dallas offensive line. And plus, if you don't have a run game, that's going to make it more difficult. And I think the Eagles can take the run game away.
I think that if Vic Fangio doesn't have Quinyon Mitchell travel with the better outside receiver, he's making a mistake. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm looking at that very early. And look, guys, just like Coach, just like Mo, just like a lot of guys, I really break the game down. And if I'm Dallas, I'm looking at where Quinyon Mitchell is lined up. And if he's lined up on the outside, on the same side every down, I'm taking Jalen Tolbert and I'm like, hey, just run go routes and keep him away from the rest of the field. And we'll take our third receiver out with their number one cornerback, and we'll just not worry about that side of the field. I think that that's a realistic thing if the Eagles do not have Quinyon travel. And I play double teams on the other side, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. If you're doubling one, I'm throwing to the other. If you're doubling the other, I'm throwing it. Now, the problem is this. Philadelphia has the luxury of dropping 7 where most teams can't do that. And I think that's what's going to hurt Dallas in this football game is they don't have an offensive line that can really move the ball running the football. Javonte Williams is going to run into someone's back. I've watched it happen for 3 years. Miles Sanders, I don't know what you're getting out of the Cowboys run game. Let's flip the side. The Cowboys defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles offense. I was hoping to have my man Doug on here. I was trying to get Big Tom on here. I sent him the link. We talked. He said he has work this morning, but let's flip the side. Eagles offense versus the Cowboys defense. This will be the first time, I think, in a long time where you're going to get a healthy Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland on the field at the same time for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm fully aware that that's one of the best cornerback duos in football. Where I think the Cowboys are going to lack on defense is I don't think without Micah Parsons, they have the ability to get to the quarterback without blitzing. They're going to have to sell out and blitz. And if they blitz, it's on Jalen Hurts to make the right decision. If I'm the Eagles offensive coordinator, I am saying we got to prepare for the blitz because if they send 4 at us, we're going to sit back there all day. This is not going to be, it'll be a field day offensively if they send 4. They're going to have to sell out to stop the run. They're going to have to sell out to get after the quarterback because without Micah Parsons, I do not think this Cowboys defense can get after the quarterback. Coach, I'll start with you. Eagles offense versus Cowboys defense. How do you see it?
I don't see this what gets me so Jalen Hurts. I mean, if they send blitz, and if you're Jalen Hurts, you got to make them pay. So if they send blitz, they're basically going to sell out and say, "Hey, we okay with our corners, staying with AJ Brown, staying with Devontae Smith, staying with whoever you got at slot." If you can't expose that, then something wrong. If they actually send a blitz and do that and be willing to go one-on-one with your coverage. So that's when I think it can hurt the Cowboys. I don't believe nobody could guard AJ Brown. I don't believe nobody can stick with Devontae Smith. I don't care who it is. I don't believe whoever is the third string, wide receiver or a tight end. I don't like one-on-one coverages. I think the Eagles can win those every single time. So if I'm the Cowboys, I might have to sell just to stop the run. Like stopping a run from the Eagles and making Jalen Hurts just beat you throwing without seeing one-on-one coverage. I think that's the best thing, especially without Michael Parsons not being there to rush the passer. I would say then you take your chances going one-on-one because you got him, but now you don't got him. I think the Eagles can win at the line. If you send a blitz and go one-on-one, I think the Eagles can win at the line of scrimmage receivers. I will take the Eagles receivers over those DBs every single time. It's just up to Jalen Hurts to pick the right play, pick the right throws, and make those throws. So if I'm Dallas, I might sell out to try to stop the run because I think that's the key thing to stop probably holding down the Eagles. You stop the run. You got to find a way to stop the run and make Jalen Hurts just make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. Just seems like if they play one-on-one, it just seemed like that would be like almost too easy. I don't care if they got DaRon Bland. Diggs is even hurt. So you got to test him out, see how he's feeling too. You got to go his way and see how he's feeling too. But I'm just saying, I think if I'm the Cowboys, I'd try to just stop the run. I just try to stop the run.
And Matty Eberflus employs like a very simple style, 4-3 zone style cover 3 defense on running downs. And when you get in obvious passing situations, he really drops into a Tampa 2 where he has 2 deep safeties. He loves to employ zone. Loves zone. Zone is not where the Eagles really have fits because they're going to run the football on you all day if you run zone. Mo, what's your thoughts?
I know the Packers got Clark, or the Dallas got Clark to make their run defense stouter.
Yes.
But I think the Eagles are still going to test them. And if the Packers can't slow the run down, the game's over. We don't even if they can't slow down the Eagles' run game, the game's over.
It's over.
It's not even a game. The game is over. But even if you get them in 3rd and long, and you know you can't get to him because you don't have the pass rush anymore, Jalen Hurts has been really good against the blitz. He's been really good against the blitz, and I think if you attack him and come that way, and you get one-on-ones with Brown and Smith, I think Jalen Hurts and those guys are going to make you pay. What Dallas needs more, they need to find a way to get the Eagles to turn the football over. They need to be able to make a play that we don't see coming, because they're not going to be able to rush the passer. Even if you send somebody, I think that's where they're going to make you pay even more. This really comes down to, can they stop the Eagles' run game to the point where Jalen Hurts and company are consistently in 3rd and long? I don't think they can.
So I do want to give a quick shout out to my guy. I really want to give a big shout out to my guy, Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson, just 3 weeks ago, had a partially torn MCL. Or sorry, meniscus. He got the meniscus repaired, and he's a full participant in practice today. He's going to play Thursday night. I'm like, oh, maybe he'll only miss the first 4 weeks of the season. That dude is tough as nails. It's always good to see one of your most violent offensive linemen back at practice. He is one of the toughest dudes. Cottrell said he was really good versus the blitz with Kellen Moore. I'm curious to see how it looks now, because 2 years ago he looked lost versus the blitz. You are absolutely correct, Cottrell.
That's fair.
You are absolutely correct. The Eagles do have a new offensive coordinator, so I'll be very interested to see what his footprint looks like on the offense in training camp. Now, I know the ghost of his big troll in the chat, but in training camp, the Eagles offense got absolutely destroyed by the Eagles defense. And I remember in a press conference, Cam Jurgens said that, well, they're still running the same defense that they ran last year. It's Vic Fangio, and we're still working in our offense. And then Vic Fangio went in this press conference and basically told Cam Jurgens that they're really not. He's like, we have new players. I don't know. Like, they're literally like internal beef between the offense and the defense, which I thought was funny. It's competitive. I love that. But the Eagles having a new offensive coordinator will be interesting, because Jalen Hurts looked awful against the blitz with Brian Johnson. So we'll see how that responds. But Matt Eberflus isn't the coach that you're really worried about blitzing. He never has been a big blitzing head coach. He doesn't blitz often. He plays safe. He plays zone. He plays a different style.
And
same exact O-line, Russ. Same exact O-line.
Which is my point, Russell.
I want to say one more thing, Gene. And if you're a receiver, if you can't win one-on-one coverage, then something wrong. You don't need to be on the football field. I understand you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose some battles. You're gonna win some battles. But if you can't win one-on-one coverage when it's just you and your dude, when your guy got to guess your route, then something wrong. You shouldn't be on the football field if your receiver can't win one-on-one coverage.
You're correct, Coach. The only thing I'm saying is that the Cowboys are more equipped to handle man-to-man coverage than most teams are. When you put out a cornerback duo of Deron Bland, and listen, I'll say I give him crap all the time, but Trevon Diggs is a good cornerback. He's a good corner. Is he ultra aggressive? Does he try to jump routes? Absolutely. Does that get him burnt sometimes? Absolutely. But they are more equipped than most teams in the corner.
Yeah. I understand, because Trayvon Diggs used to be an actual wide receiver, so that's part that plays in a lot of his aggressive style at a lot of times.
Bro, Coach, I love your knowledge coming on the show. I didn't know that. All right, so let's get to the NFL's top 100. Oh, by the way, let's get predictions on the game first. I apologize. Coach, how do you see this game going? What's your score prediction?
My score prediction, I see the Eagles winning this game, but I think it's gonna be more closer than what people think. I'm gonna go 27-17 Philadelphia. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be closer than what people think.
I'll take 27-17. When you said close game, I thought you were going to take 27-24.
The game is going to be closer than what people think. People are going to think it's a slaughter. I don't look
at it. It will not be a slaughter.
That's not
never slaughter Dallas unless they're missing their starting quarterback. Well, look at that. Cottrell, 27-17.
Then go 3 for 3 because I was thinking the same thing.
Oh my Lord!
I'm being 1,000 with it. I was like, Coach just took my score. So.
All right, I'm gonna give you a weird score. I think the Eagles win the football game 23-19. I think it's going to be an extremely close game, and I think a lot of Eagles fans are going to be on the edge of their seat. I think that you're going to have people questioning the Eagles' decisions of not playing people in the preseason. You're going to hear a lot of that after this football game. I think this is Dallas coming out and showing we lost Micah Parsons, but we're still here. We still have Dak. We still have CD. I'm going to go 23-19. Jordy's got 30-21. Russ has got 24-20. 36-20. Damien, you just said Miles Sanders was going to fall over the Eagles. What happened?
Damien got no faith.
No, I'll tell you right now, Eagles scored 36 points. I'll feel very comfortable in this football game. I would love that. I think it's 23-19. I think there's opening night jitters. I think people aren't on the same page. The Philadelphia Eagles are working really hard to not let the ring ceremony get to them. Not ring ceremony, that banner. Nick Sirianni's not even letting his players on the field for the banner drop. He's like, we won't be there for that. So their banner night, the Eagles players will not be on the field. Just crazy. But let's move on to the NFL top 100 because we're going to talk about the rest of the schedule going into the NFL tomorrow morning. And I'm sure Brett and Mo will go over it Friday. But let's talk about the top 100. It got released. I didn't get a chance to comment on 14 through 11. I know that the show did, but I didn't get a chance to comment on 14 through 11, so I wanted. Trey Hendrickson, number 14, I think is extremely overrated. Penei Sewell, number 13, it annoys me he's listed ahead of Lane Johnson. But it's okay. He's a very good right tackle. Chris Jones being 12 is a no-brainer. And TJ Watt being 11 is a very no-brainer. Any issues with 15 or 14 through 11?
No, I didn't think Hendrickson should have been picked that high, but Chris Jones is an absolute. You can rely on him just being a beast. So I'm good with everybody else.
I think Chris Jones the best D tackle in the game. To be honest with you, man, he gets it done every single season, bro. He just finds a way. Like that's the anchor of that Kansas City Chiefs defense. So I think he's the best defensive tackle actually in the game. So I mean, you can argue could be a little bit more higher, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And like I say, Trey Hendrickson, I like him a lot. I think he gets to the quarterback on his team. It's just that down back end of that defense for Cincinnati, bro. It's just that back end just hurts you so much. But Trey Hendrickson is a productive player. He is a productive player for Cincinnati.
Denzel Ward being completely off the list is Travis, the third best corner in the league.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, Denzel Ward not being on the list and Cooper DeJean being 60 is absolutely wild.
It's crazy.
Any single person in the world who's a better cornerback, Cooper DeJean or Denzel Ward, I think they'll tell you Denzel Ward.
Not even close. That dude one of the top corners in the NFL.
Agreed. And Cooper DeJean was 60 because he caught a pick six in the Super Bowl. And I love Cooper DeJean. Like you're making me. All right, let me get. Now, Coach, you said something that I'm gonna argue with you on. Not really argue. You said Chris Jones could be higher. I don't think he could be higher because, like Jalen Hurts says, the main thing's the main thing. The top 10 is the top 10. I'm gonna read you these names randomly. I'm not sure if you guys seen the top 10. You probably did, but I'm gonna read you these names randomly, and I want you to tell me any of these guys that you think could be that Chris Jones could be ahead of. You got Joe Burrow. You got Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Surtain, Myles Garrett. Those are the top 10 players in football. In my opinion, there's no doubt there. Chris Jones is incredible. I think he's the best D tackle in football. I'm kind of being playful when I say that.
No.
But those top 10 are the top 10 players in football.
Yeah.
They got the 10 right. Now let's debate if they got the order right. Number 10, reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain. Number 9, Justin Jettas Jefferson. Another 100 reception, 1,500 yard. He does it with every quarterback. He does it with Kirk Cousins. He does it with Sam Darnold. He does it with Mo. He does it with Coach. Doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson, number 9. Number 8, Myles Garrett. I think he's low. I could hear an argument for him being 1. Number 7, Derrick King Henry. 1,900 rushing yards last year. 16 rushing touchdowns. Number 6, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Jamar Chase. 1,700 receiving yards last year. 17 touchdowns. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. And number 1, Saquon Barkley. What are your thoughts on the top 10, gentlemen? Coach, I'll start with you. Who would you move around? Is there anybody that you don't think is top 10? Who would you move? What do you think of the top 10?
Hey man, that's crazy. That's a crazy top 10, right?
Right.
Crazy top. That's a crazy top 10 right there. So, hey man, it's rough. Surtain, definitely the best corner in the NFL. He's the best corner in football. So definitely deserve that. I mean, you can put any quarterback around Justin Jefferson. He's gonna find a way to perform. Rather he's double team. This man can get open versus double teams. You can have someone coming over and double teaming, he still gets opens. And I say Joe Burrow definitely deserves a lot of his respect. I mean, throughout the bad offensive lines, he had no running game, no secondary help, and he still finds a way to have big games and have big games. It's not his fault that the team sucks so bad on defense and that the offensive line is not good. And the running game is just been downgraded from Joe Mixon. It's not his fault about that. And Lamar Jackson, I mean, yes, he needs to get to a Super Bowl. Yes, but he's still productive. He's still out there. And Derrick Henry, when you continue to think this man is slowed down, he's slowing down, he continues to perform. So the top 10 is pretty legit.
Yeah, so you're not moving anybody really around. You think they're all really good?
I think they all solid. They all legit. They all legit.
Love it.
Every one of them top 10 is guys is superstar. It's superstar guys. Every last
100%.
Every last.
Now I don't know what Lamar did to Damian Hernandez. Him saying take Lamar out of the top 10, he's not even the top 15.
That's great. That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk. Mo.
So I would move people around. I don't think Jamar Chase. I think him and Jefferson are the same. I don't think Jamar Chase is better than Jettis. I think Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow throw him the football. Jettis has Joe anybody throwing him the football, and he's still putting up the same numbers. Why? I don't know why there would be that big a gap between the two of them. They should be kind of close together. I don't know. So I don't understand that gap because he's not that much better if he is better. And as far as the running backs go, here's the thing. I get the love that you give Saquon for what they did, the 2,000-yard season, winning the Super Bowl. But unless you think he's going to rush for 2,000 yards again, which my guess is he's not, I wouldn't have him number 1. I would have him and Henry a little bit closer together. I think Saquon's terrific, but I think it's more likely that he's going to have more of a 1,500-yard season. Which, by the way, is it like he's having a bad season? I think the Eagles value Saquon in the long run, so I think they're going to give the ball to other people and delegate the ball more to preserve him. So I think he's terrific, but I don't think I would have him number one. Selfishly, I would have Joe Burrow number one.
I think that you can't make it. Listen, as big of a Joe Burrow fan I am, I don't think you can really make a case for him being number one, although I agree with you. Like, it's funny that it's like an oxymoron what I just said. I don't think you can make a case because he didn't win an MVP. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. So to put him in the guys that won MVPs, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or guys that won Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes, is tough to do when you're making a rating. However, me and Mo have both said this before, and I'll say it again. If I was starting a franchise tomorrow and I could delete everything from the past and I could build around the player, I'm starting with Joe Burrow over anyone. I think that's what this list is supposed to be, right? The best player.
Yep.
So
and we're projecting, right? We're not.
No, I think this list is the rankings. So I don't think this list is. I think the NFL execs in that list is also. I think this is more ranking the players.
So this is how they see them as who's the best player.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, yeah, I don't. Then I think the top 10 is spot on. I would shuffle some things around more. Like I said, I don't think the gap between Jefferson and Chase seems kind of insane to me when you look at what Jefferson does with no matter who the quarterback is.
I love that line. I might clip that line. Jamar Chase does it with Joe Burrow. Justin Jefferson does it with Joe anybody.
I mean, a lot of speculation. A lot of people do have Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson, which is I say I wouldn't argue that, but I still take Justin Jefferson as the number one. If you ask me who I would take as a person to throw to, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. This man literally gets constantly double teamed. He still gets wide. He still gets wide open. Yes, Jamar Chase has more speed. Yes, he does. But Justin Jefferson has crazy route running ability, man, that nobody really talks about, man. That man just consistently gets double and just really gets open, man. So if you're putting 1,700 yards up with Kirk Cousins every year and Sam Darnold as your quarterback, who's a backup quarterback, and he's going to be able to do that with J.J. McCarthy as his backup, no matter how bad he's going to be, he's still going to put up numbers.
Coach, you're making my point. I'm with you 100%. And it's weird that he plays for the Vikings because I believe Justin Jefferson is the closest thing to Randy Moss we have in today's football. He's very Randy Moss-like.
Jefferson will do it again when they throw McCarthy. Jalen Johnson should be in the top 10. I don't think you're going to find a bigger Jalen Johnson fan outside of Chicago than me, and I don't think he should be anywhere near the top 10. I love Jalen Johnson. PS2 is on another level. I think the list is just fun, and I think that the top 10 is top 10. And I felt like you could randomly generate it, and I don't think you could argue on who lands where. Like if they put PS2, who was 10, number one, I couldn't argue that. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He was incredible. So I don't want to play the move around game. I although I do agree, I don't think there's a gap between Chase and Jettas, and I don't think there's that big of a gap between Saquon and Derrick Henry. I think that those two, they should be like right next to each other. And come quarterback wise, that's their rankings. But we're gonna go at it again tomorrow. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. Make sure you tune in tonight. Wire Sports Podcast. We'll see if Shally gets his bitch ass out of bed and gets on the show because he got a little cold. I love you, Shally. I'm just messing around. But Shally's not feeling well. It could be just a two-man show tonight, me and Cottrell. Could Shally be back? We'll see. But we'll talk about it then. Coach, you coming on Wednesdays, a staple. Love it. It'll be Coach Wednesdays with Coach. Any final thoughts, Coach? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for having me joining every Wednesday morning. Appreciate shout out to Gene, shout out to Mo. And I will make a bold prediction right here on this show right now. It's a big bold prediction, but I think he can pull it off. Terrence Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. I'm calling it right here, right now. He will beat Canelo Alvarez. That's just a bold prediction. He will.
That's bold. I think Bud is incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's overwhelming because he moved up weight class to fight Canelo Alvarez. And I think Terrence Crawford got talent. He got hand speed. He got power. He can move. He can switch orthodox. I think that really messes with a boxer like Canelo Alvarez, who struggles against guys that really love to box and stand in the middle of the ring and just fight it out. So I'm going for Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. I just want to let everybody know and throw that out there.
Okay, I'm with it. No issues for me. I like Bud also. So, Mo, any final thoughts? And if not, close us out.
No, look, I appreciate it. Love the energy. I love having Coach on for Wednesday. You're right. It's a staple now, Coach on Wednesdays. Wednesdays with Coach. That should be the title. Wednesdays with Coach. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Appreciate all the energy in the chat. Guys, make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take care.